Hello all, this is Steffi Mary from the Department of English. I'm here to present to you today about a short story by Katherine Mansfield. Bliss is a short story which talks about the relationship between Bertha Young and Harry Young. The relationship as a husband and wife, how they are married inside a wedlock. This story is a modernistic story, though it is open-ended. The ending of the story gives a suggestion to the readers how a modernist family is corrupted by an unfaithful friend. Katherine Mansfield has presented this idea of breaking of relationships in a beautiful way by not giving a conclusion how the relationship breaks, but she gives the ending to the readers. Through learning the story, the students will come to understand the multiple layer themes of the short story, that is modernity, which is exhibited throughout the story. To know the author better, we can consider all her stories which will symbolize a particular image that will enhance the concept of the story. Here we have the pear tree as a symbolization of the protagonist, Bertha. She identifies herself with the tree. And when the story starts off, the tree is full of blossoms as she is full of bliss, the life within her, and she is full of joy. And she reflects that joy in everything that she does. So the story begins with her preparation for a party that evening for her friends, Mr. and Mrs. Knight and Mr. Eddy, and for her husband and the friend who I already mentioned, Pearl Fulton. She happily prepares for the dinner and she gets ready for her guests to enjoy the party. And when they are in a discussion, they get to discuss a lot of things about literary contributions by playwrights, poems. They get to discuss all modern amenities of a modernistic world, where Katherine Mansfield expresses her love for literature in the characters and the characters' conversation. And Bertha Young is a person who believes the friend and the husband. But at last, towards the end of the story, the plot summary tells us believes in the person so much, but her belief is devastated and broken because Bertha's friend and her husband are in an illicit relationship that breaks her completely, and she goes and views the pear tree once again. And when she views that, now it is not full of blossoms. It is a symbolization of herself, but she could see two cats in front of that disturbing the beauty of the pear tree. That is a symbolism how the friend and the husband has cheated on her. The element of modernity exhibited there, but the transformation of that particular character is not explicitly told by the writer. That is the way she tells a modern world welcomes everybody's thoughts. Everybody's actions can be of their decision, and the decision making is allowed for the person. The story opens with Bertha Young being happy, but drastically it changes towards the end. She isn't happy. The word bliss transforms. The irony of the story is bliss is completely gone off from her life because of the infidelity that is shared between her husband and Pearl Fulton. As we already discussed, all these characters contribute to the modern element and they symbolize a transformation, and marriage and infidelity becomes the main theme. But the relationship between the husband and wife towards the end, where Bertha wants to have a nice relationship with her husband, but it is not happening because of an unfaithful friend. Towards the end, where Katherine Mansfield tells us bliss is a word that is full of ecstasy, but it is completely changed meaning for her in her life. It is transformed. She has to identify her bliss, not being dependent about the feeling that she has for her husband. She has to change her perspective and try to move on with her life. That's what modernity, as I mentioned already, transformation is the only tool that we can make our lives happy. So through this short story, we get to understand, though the idea of bliss is being changed, only positive note that we can take through the story is bliss is defined by us, the person who is innate, and how we decide about our lives. So Bertha Young becomes a symbol of the pearl tree again with blossoms. Whether it is blossoming or it's dying down, it's our decision. So the assessment questions would be: analyze the paradox created in the story and how would you view the concept of gender in the story. Thank you.